back. Welcome to Practising program I'm going to see. Heroes and Heroines with yours truly. This is going to be a mostly speech-free stream, but I will leave the mic on, and then the mic is probably off right now, isn't it? Actually, it's not. Okay, so the mic is on. Yeah, I think I'm going to do mostly speech-free, just so I can concentrate on the stuff that we're doing, and also save you guys from hearing me umming and ahhing all the time. But I will leave the mic open so you can actually hear the dulcet tones of the keyboard. I think you also would have just heard that bleep, wouldn't you? Or would you? Would that have been captured? I don't think that might not have been captured actually. So yeah, you probably didn't hear that, which is fine, actually. Yeah, because this only captures what you can see here, doesn't it? It's seen the UAC2, which is the mic, the webcam, which is this little guy down here. Speechless is the text. Desktop is this lot. So yeah, don't know. We'll find out later. But yeah, we're going to continue with the include stuff. We fell into buffer Cinera. So we're still, yeah, we're not bothered about resolving paths at the moment. I think we will need a story about that, but let's just yeah, let's just continue without it, because it's a complete beside the point at the moment. Ah. So does it look? That might not be appropriate for the ident include actually. Sort of seems like we want to be able to push on a set of tokens. So you see how this thing takes tokens? That's literally this, right? It might be handy. Let's just sketch out the idea here. parsing the actual scope. Parsing scope. I mean, actually, yeah, the reason I was thinking of keeping the token thing around is I think we're going to have to keep the well, we're going to have to keep the file loaded actually, because we're going to need access to all of this stuff right up until we actually resolve it, and we're not resolving her, so yeah, it just seems like, you know, like how you know how we're reading the file into buffer here, we sort of need this same sort of an idea in the includes. And also, you probably need to actually, rather than having a separate file, just have the buffer be part of the tokens, because you need that, right? Let's do that. Let's do that as a first change. Oh, I'm now in Cinera.c, am I? Hold on. Oh, it's a file. We call it a file here. Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, when I merge all this stuff in, this is going to be one of the things that you do. It's just like make sure that you're using the actual types that we've got available to us. Oh, and that thinks it's in there, does it? Wait. Okay. Yeah, we've got to read into the refine to thing. I also feel like this read file into buffer, I'm just going to try not null terminating it. And the tokenized thing, it's not while that, it's just while this take away. Is that right? So with a bit of luck, that should just work, shouldn't it? Seems to do. See, if I hadn't changed that, this will crash because it's crashing into the well, past the size essentially. Buffer B. So the buffer B is the file buffer, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah. I feel like tokenized needs to return I do feel like tokenize needs to return a pointer to a. Sorry, I feel like it needs to take. Yeah, I mean, if it takes the tokens, so that it's got the actual buffer. I suppose another way to do it actually would be to say you tokenize this thing here, right? And then the tokenize itself calls read file into buffer. I do still think though that you want to have a set of tokens. I mean a set of sets of tokens, if you know what I mean. That you would then pass, and tokenize actually pushes one of these tokens things onto it. Well, actually, hang on a second. What am I doing here? Counts. Right. And then wherever I see B, it's just result file, isn't it? What is it? Skip voices and B. So result file. See if that even builds. No, of course it doesn't. So that's expecting a pointer to it. Ah. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. So we need to keep the stuff around in the file. Am I building? I am. So everywhere we see B arrow, we change that to be result. Now is this going to let me insert that? Where am I seeing this? Under B, undeclared identifier. What's happening? Okay, it is. It does seem to be working. The value of there is not equal to that. Yeah, okay, that seems fine. I suppose actually I could just do. Yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? So rather than saying all that bullshit, I could actually say that do this, can't I? Yeah, So we're not having have we got a free? We haven't got a free file here, have we? Let's just see if this runs. It doesn't run. So T count. So what should this be? Tokenized Cinera.conf. Might be nice if we can actually produce that error. Actually. So how did that happen? What does read file to buffer return? Well, that's going to return a file, isn't it? So, which is the guy who reports the error? It's just P error, isn't it? Perfect. Done that before actually. I keep doing. This is just Vim's Vim editing here. I did chain CT double quotes, but I should be doing CD double quote. Sorry, CF double quote. Just a bit of Mother Nature there for you. What does... Yeah, I mean, I suppose T count is the thing. I mean, previously it was... We were checking if the read file had succeeded, aren't we? So we were checking on the handle, wasn't it? Yeah, if it was the handle. So, I mean, the thing is, we're not going to have a handle because when we read it in, and that was the question. When you read it in, you actually just close the handle anyway. I suppose T count is a reasonable thing to use. So we're going to tokenize Cinera.conf. Now, as a first step, let's just call that tokenize on what is that? That's what I'm after. Inside scope tokens somewhere. So let's just, when we see one of these dudes, we've got the pair value content, pair value. So let's just, we need to produce it needs to be a null terminated. I mean, I guess actually, rather than doing that, let's make tokenize take a string and just rabz it, or rab 0 is what I call it. Do I have it? I don't. Mind you, somebody has to get it back to be a car at some point, don't they? So they can pass it to this dude. And I think it would make sense to make it a string because we're going to be passing these guys in from here as strings. So it's just here. We just need to I mean, essentially, it's just like we're not storing that file name anywhere. So I guess just make string. Make string 0. I mean, the alternative would be to stick a null terminator on the end of the string, but you don't know if the string has enough space for that null terminator. Would be nice if fopen could just take a string. Let's go and let's grab my where am I? Cinera.c. Oh right, I'm all the way in here. Right. So let's make a make string 0. Blimey. It's really that longest function, is it? Oh, that won't have actually pasted it, will it? Yanked, rather. Okay. Well, just need to get that kind of. What's this now? Colorize. I don't have colorize, do I not? Pretty sure I do. And then what's this function here? Oh, and then this is where I put the make string. So yeah, it's literally just right there. How's this getting the string? Because the string is declared down here. Or maybe it's not able to get it actually. And then token type, that's, yeah, different lot of stuff. Standard arc. So it doesn't like digits in int. What is this? Why is digits in int here? Is that in here? I mean, sure. I suppose we're going to take one of them, we should take both. And having said that, I'm going to need the make string, the main make string at some point anyway. So I might as well pull that dude in too. I don't need the print repeated strings. So it was this person that needed it, so I need to put that above it. What was it? Digits in int. Probably doesn't matter at all where I put it. Implicit declaration of function assert. Really? I don't have an assert. What's this in? Digits in int. I suppose that's reasonable to have an assert in this function in that case. Because it's a thing that has to be caught while you're developing. So probably don't have that in there, actually, do I? Pretty crazy that I didn't have an assert, actually. Here we go. Implicit declaration of arg count. Oh, right. It's kind of interesting that that wasn't. You didn't even realise that you were missing this until we actually called the make string macro. Also, I wonder if that assertion is the same. We're getting there. So it's not the same. What's the difference? It's just the f printf rather than printf, isn't it? Yeah, let's take the new one. So now what doesn't it like? Right. And then either way, we'll just free that file path to 0. String length, complete over string length, really? Oh, there's two definitions of it, is there? I'll just get a bit more space. Oh, there's an implicit declaration function wrap z, 0 rather. So I need to get that from somewhere. So this is saying U832. That was the one that I just introduced, wasn't it? So what's the problem? Is it just the return? Yeah. So yeah, it seems that I did have a string length. It's just that it was too far down the file. There's the wrap 0. And tokenize, it shouldn't be wrapping, oh, it should be wrapping 0, shouldn't it? So a wrap 0, I mean, we could go and get it, but that. So now tokenize is, after all that work, is taking an actual string to the path. See if it builds. Well, it does build. Let's see if it runs. It does run. Okay. So that first step that we were talking about, scope tokens. So the first thing we want to do is, if we see an ident include, let us just say, what does tokenize return actually? Does it return tokens? Yeah. Oops. Whoa. That's going to be there, isn't it? Person may test your name. Yeah, so this is that thing getting tokenized. Yeah, you can see that. Loading token on the path of the included value, which is exactly what's happening there. Now the interesting thing is that we should have seen that happen previously, shouldn't we? And indeed we have done. So this is where we need to distinguish between stuff that is being tokenized before and that we can just reuse their tokenization. Do you know what I mean? Because when you do this it's essentially here. So when you do this get scope, right, if somebody wants to include the same file twice, oh actually, that's the thing, isn't it? They might want to include the file twice, but with different permissions, which is a bit of a bamboozler, but it's something that we could permit. I suppose another interesting question is, I'm just thinking in terms of the next steps here, because the next step, now that we've tokenized, is simply to pass this tokenized stuff into our function that we're currently in, right? Is to pass our tokens here. Scope tokens. So we're going to pass the type specs as usual. So we're just going to pass the type specs straight through. What was my train of thought there? Tokenize the thing and then pass those tokens to our current function. Yeah, I'm afraid I can't remember. Cannot remember at all what that train of thought was. Now, we don't necessarily need to init the type specs just only in there. We could init them straight up here. In some ways, this is also const. But fuck that. Yeah, because I mean, I'd have to pass it as const everywhere, wouldn't I? And also, that shouldn't happen in this scope. Well, let's just, now that we've thingamajigged that, because I've completely forgotten what that train of thought was, sadly. This is going to be I. So rather than printing the tokens this time, now scope tokens itself, this is our current function that we're actually in. I think this is it's sort of working okay because the only thing I've been doing so far has been tokenizing and then print tokens. It hasn't been going on to scope them up, but maybe we're still okay. It's not right because we're going to have to depart this assignment. See if it crashes. It doesn't crash, but it does do something weird. And that was just through. It probably was to do with the scope tokens thing, wasn't it? I mean, are we just tokenizing over and over again, maybe? So I think the only thing I need to do here is do else of this lot so that's in the same case. And I think when I depart, because I want to depart assignment here, I think that will put us after the semicolon. I mean, let's see actually. So semicolon, yeah, so I think it will position us past the semicolon. Does that get any better? We now finish. So apparently expected token identifier so we are departing assignment. Okay, so that's a syntax error. Expected token identifier, so where is that happening exactly? I wonder if it's an error in the actual included file. Because the thing that we're actually working on is probably this, I imagine. Unless we're actually going through it again. Unless this is the second time through. Oh, dude. How amazing is that? Now, this needs to be more... it needs to be more informative. But the error here, this is correct. Expected token identifier. But it's found a semicolon. Now, semicolons aren't optional. They are, like, not supposed to be there. So we've got another error somewhere. Default medium programming. So that was here. It doesn't like the fact. What doesn't it like exactly? It could be. It's not going to be out. Not going to be. It's not going to be this expecting a token identifier. Is it in a depart assignments? It's gonna be that, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's gonna be that. So the part assignment expects me to be on the identifier, but now we've moved past the identifier. That happens up here, right? Once we've established that we're on an identifier, we increment past it, and then we come into this scope area. We then, so we've incremented past the include. We're now expecting an assignment token, and then we're expecting a string here. And each time we expect something, we move past it. So in order to depart this assignment, we're going to have to back up the token, current token thingamajig, essentially. Which is a bit cheesy, but that's what you just got to do. So now actually we should see in the final thing, we should see in the root scope all the stuff that's in the include file, shouldn't we? Oh no, we shouldn't, because we haven't actually. No, sorry, we're only. Yeah, we're not actually pushing that onto the actual tree, are we? Which is what we need to be doing. Load and tokenize and pass the included file. So yeah, we shouldn't see this stuff actually. Right, we shouldn't see all these people. Well, I say all of them. This person may attach to. We shouldn't see this all these mediums. We shouldn't see these because we're not actually adding them to our actual tree. But what we should find is that we never see in the actual thing, we should never see an include thing anymore. And we're not, are we? Because I think previously it was showing up. Well, I'm not sure actually where it was showing up. Let's search for it. But yeah, you can see. So there's Cinera included. Which way is this searching? It's a bit annoying that it searches in the opposite direction, but I guess that's just how it goes. It's worth bearing in mind that these are only the type specs, which can contain all the fields. It's what we're looking for is something that's formatted like this, with these colours, that has the include thing. So that's gone back. That's right back around to the start. And yeah, we're never seeing that included, which is perfect. Because we're departing the assignment. I guess in some ways we could also have a different function that's depart include assignments, right? And that just expects different things. Or rather, that does the decrement. Because this is quite a big function actually. Well, I say big. I mean, it's this, and it's got some logic in it, and it calls itself as well at some point, I think. Oh no, sorry, it doesn't call itself. It just loops, doesn't it? I mean, maybe you could just sort of... Yeah, let's just do it. Pretty sure -3 is the right number, by the way. It's a little bit of a guess, but it's like you need to go. So you're going to be sitting here, or you're going to be sitting here rather. Back, back, back. Yeah. So then you're sitting at the thing. I think that's the easy way of doing it. Because the alternative would be yeah, I don't really know what the alternative would be, honestly. I suppose you've just got to be a bit careful that you only call this in that one case where you know that you actually have the, you know, you've successfully got to this point of an include assignment. You know, so you know that you're not going to underflow the tokens count, token index. But the thing we are missing, right, is the idea that we are pushing onto an actual scope tree that we've been passed. So it's kind of an interesting question as to how you actually do that, isn't it? Well, I suppose it's not really. It's just a case of figuring out what it is. I mean, it sort of seems like what you do is you just so this is returning a pointer to a scope tree. We'd like it to also take a pointer to a scope tree. I guess you could just say if there's no tree, can't you? Then you calloc it. Can you set a type spec of that? Like, I don't see why not, really. Right? Like, that should be just totally equivalent. Otherwise, you just set the parent to be the tree. That kind of seems reasonable to me. And then wherever you see result, you're actually returning the tree. Right? That's right, isn't it? So the scope tree never moves. The only thing you're doing is that you are pushing onto that tree. I think that's right. So the big question is, where's that second call to this? So this is passing scope, passing the tree into scope token. This is going to be turning the tree. So yeah, right. So rather than doing that, you just do that, right? You sort of just flip them around, get rid of. Well, actually, I did just get rid of that, didn't I? And then I can't actually free that there because, I mean, I could also just kill that. Oh, I need to. That's unfortunate. If I run this now, then the print scope token, this print scope tree is going to die because we don't actually have. We don't have our tokens. So this is that. This was that issue. I was like, we're going to have to push these tokens onto some sort of a list. I suppose for fun we could just let this guy print them. So we've got the HTML templates, templates. We've got all that stuff. Got the support. Got the person we attach to. Got the medium. So yeah, everything's in here, isn't it? And then we've got a project. So that's the first project that we actually included, that we got in there before something happened. Why exactly did we get through there exactly? Because there's an include here. So here we are tokenizing the first last stuff. Got an invalid field. Yeah, that was the something, wasn't it? Are there two invalid fields in there? Yeah, there are. Project is invalid as well. So yeah, we got the support Patreon, which contained the invalidness. Support PayPal, which contains stuff. Person Mio, which is all here. Project Hero, Project Risk. But where was the include? Wasn't there? The include is here. So what happened to that? PayPal. Yeah, like what happened to that? PayPal. We're printing out person equals Miyatsu there. Where's that print pair? What's going on here? Where's it saying load in thingamajig? It's not, is it? Patreon, PayPal. Then it's just missing this out completely. Cinera underscore included. So it's the same file name as well as this guy down here. Depart include assignments. If I feel as usual to use that. Let's just move that the to do up to the top of here. Just so I can see that we're actually getting there at least. So yeah, we are getting there. Loading, tokenize and parse the included file. So it's identified that we've hit the include thing. What is the pair value? What is the print the pair? So that's saying it's saying Cinera included. It's not exactly clear exactly who's doing what there, because this guy's also indented to 16. So yeah, Cinera included. So tokens I, tokenized pair value. So in this case, the pair value is going to be Cinera included, right? And the pair's key is going to be the field ID, which is this ident include, and it prints it out using the identifier string. Print scope true. Hang on a minute. Is this to be expected? Oh, dude, I think it is actually, isn't it? You know what? It is doing what it should be doing, isn't it? Well, maybe not. Yes, actually, it is, because yeah, I was getting thrown by the fact that the first thing in this guy is person Miyatsu, and the first thing that's followed this here is person Miyatsu. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That was an unfortunate misunderstanding. So are they exactly the same? I think they are, aren't they? Yeah. Let's just nuke this particular Mio. Sorry, Mio. We still love you. So now when we load in a parse the included file, we do get person Miyatsu, which is in the file. Right. Which is perfect. So yeah, the question now is, how do I keep the tokens around, basically? Because that's our problem. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's a problem in the sense that it's something we've got to solve. But we knew that we'd have to do this, kind of a thing. So this tokenized thing, rather than returning a straight up I think we want to make it take a sort of token set and make it return a pointer to this tokens thing within this token set. I think that's what you do. Right. So let's look at how you do that. Essentially the idea is that you're pushing on these things. So what do you call that? Token arrays? Tokens arrays? I don't think we need to do anything more fancy than that, do we? Because I'm just thinking in terms of having to identify the different tokens sets. Because the only thing that has to happen tokenize is going to be pushing on things, so it's not like that needs to actually take a thing that it then pushes stuff into, if you know what I mean. Tokenize just takes the pointer to the actual set of tokens. Guess that's kind of something like what you want to do. So it's taking tokens sets and returning a pointer to one of these guys that it's just pushed on. And these tokens themselves also get pushed on. Why is that sitting there exactly? Okay. Because this guy's using it. It's just a bit weird to see that fit token separated from the push token call. So fit token is fitting a token inside the tokens. We need a way to push and fit tokens inside a token set. Free tokens might as well just be the full set, mightn't it? What did I call the other guy? Fit token. So this is going to take a token set. Well, what did I call it? Tokens sets. Sets of tokens. I mean, tokens sets. No, it should be. It's a set of these guys, isn't it? Token set. Although this is one of this is one of the first situation where I've encountered this issue of having to like name stuff that's just so similar to other things you've got. I might call it S actually for the set. So, how do you do these? Oh, right. Let's make it 4. I think that'd be a reasonable number of these guys. That'd allow you to have 4 include files within a file. Well, actually, it allows you to have 3 include files. So it's got the it's got the main file, which would be the main one, obviously. And then you could have 3 more includes. You probably won't want to include 3, but let's just allow it. So what is this? This is if s count modded with a block size. I don't think we're going to be setting anything particularly for these. Do you know what I mean? Like, what can it contain? It can contain the file, I suppose. So when you tokenize, so tokenize is going to be passing let's see what you need. push tokens. First of all, does fit tokens, and then it's just like tokens set. And that's the thing you want to be returning, right? You want to be returning a pointer to this. But do you need to do anything else? Well, I mean, clearly you need to actually zero the thing out, don't you? Yeah, maybe, because like this isn't doing much, is it? I think I'm right in saying that I need to return that pointer to a tokens as well, by the way. So yeah, let's zero these guys out. What does the tokens contain? File count token of current index. File. Just see what I'm going to actually be calling this thing. So the idea here is that tokenize is going to change to take one of those token sets, right? I mean, it might be fair enough that we just sort of say this, actually. So that's all zeroed out. That's going to change anyway, that 3 tokens. So you need your tokens set like that. You pass it to your tokenizer. The tokenizer in turn will actually be saying it's actually going to be a pointer, isn't it? Right? Well, actually it's that, isn't it? Where is result actually used? Okay. Fine. So read file into buffer path. Where's the path coming from exactly? Well, we get it from the caller, don't we? Clearly. Does the file itself contain a... It doesn't, does it? That we saw that it doesn't contain a... Well, it does contain a file name. It's a pointer to a file name. So rather than doing that, why don't we actually keep the file name around in the dude? What was it? Was it file path? File name. It doesn't like... Oh, it's been passed in as a pointer to it. And this doesn't like the result. Push right, yeah, so that's now a thingamajig. So tokenize doesn't like that, so we need to pass the token set. So we actually push those dudes on. What's it called? Wasn't it taking... Ah. This guy ain't taking the tokens set. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Well, where's it getting that from exactly? Ah, rather than taking the tokens thingamajig. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like this is taking a pointer to a tokens. I guess it's fine to just pass the actual set and pass a pointer to the tokens that you're talking about. Well, and this needs to take the tokens set. So this is just going to be a pointer to that thing there. And this doesn't like the fact that I'm not passing the token set. Okay, so with a bit of luck, I think this should actually run. Unless I made a mistake, which is 100% possible. I think it should run and print the scope tree correctly. This free tokens will fail to free the included file that we tokenized. But I think it should succeed. So where are we going to? Field already set name homepage. Current field is in spec. Read of size 8. Current field is in spec. So let's try and figure out where we're going to. Print here. So if we got a T, where's the error exactly? It was in current field in spec in scope tokens. So it was that call to scope tokens. So yeah, we've got 1784, which is right down here, isn't it? Well, it's not. Where's 1784? It's this call to scope tokens. And then 1701. Oh, I see. It was this call to scope tokens within scope tokens. And then 1701 is saying this. Ah. I see. I think. I think we're getting through the file. Getting through this function even. If we have a tree. So if we don't have a tree, we do that. Allocate and set the type spec to that. Oh, if we do have a tree, so we passed it a tree. Is it just the case that we're just not getting a type spec set? So when we do this, to just know the parent just does not have a type spec set. Because the reason I was thinking of not setting it was because this is actually setting it to null. I feel like field already set might be slightly wrong, just because, well, where are we saying that from? This is it. This is within Miyatatsu. Yeah, I mean, this sort of suggests actually field's already set. What's probably going on there is that it's come into here, um, come to here. If field is set locally and field singleton, it's probably just got a bogus type spec. Actually, that's probably what's going on. Uh, a bogus type spec that's uninitialized, or it's just the wrong type spec. Where do we call scope tokens? We call scope tokens down here. So I think basically what we want to be doing here is setting we want to make sure that we're still using the same type spec for our parents, don't we? Let's just step through it. All right. How long have we been doing this? An hour and a half. It's about the same length of time as the last stream. Just bear with us a second, and then I'll step through it, and we'll see if we can get this whole include stuff done, and not including the permissions. We're going to do that another time. We'll see if we can at least get this stuff parsed in and producing a parsed tree that contains everything. Be right back. some music on, first of all. Very important task. Unfortunately, the whole of Burning Arms is only 192 kilobits per second, which it's just not good enough in these days, in this day and age. Spoon. We've got that in FLAC. We have got that in FLAC. Let's go for them. These were recommended by Miyatatsu, whose name you see in the thing. Right there. There's Mio. There's Mio's information. So what am I actually trying to find out here? It was the type info, wasn't it? Type spec stuff. So at this point, I think it's in there, isn't it? Tree. It's actually pairs, isn't it? So yeah, the parent here is ident null, which is perfect. Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to help, is it? So, well, hang on a minute. If it was I didn't include... Oh, that was just checking the if. Right, okay. So I need to actually get into this scope. That would help. So at this point, I don't know still. Nixie blames me for something. No, what did I do? No. Should I? Casey's using full code. Is this Vim? Sorry, new question. What's better than the bottom nails? What could oh, editor alias is oh, right, okay, the editor alias is broken. I don't know, but oh, right, I see. So what you need to do is alias editor. I think it's that. How do you do this? Alias editor. Pretty sure that's what it is, isn't it? I mean, in some ways, this could actually be hard-coded, couldn't it? So, previously it was shown in Nixie anyway. see if I can just send it to Norbert. Is Norbert even still here? Don't think he is. He's joined apparently. Yeah, Norbert's gone. Okay. So where were we? That's cool actually that I heard that, because usually I don't actually hear the beep while I'm streaming, because previously I had it set so that it would use, you know, the beep thing would actually use a program that doesn't support Jack, if you know what I mean. And Jack is the thing that actually gets the where is that? Where is that? I think it's Patch Bay. Well, I don't think it's Patch Bay. Is it Graph? It's not Graph. Yeah, where is that thing? It's not messages. There's usually a little thing that just shows you. I mean, it's sort of a bit like this, but it's not as extensive. Is that just a new thing in Jack, maybe? Yeah, it's just a quick way to connect stuff up. So patch bay is for making, like, you can save things. It's not really for that. I feel like maybe it's just graph. Maybe they just changed it so it's graph now. That's kind of crazy, but maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I usually can't hear it because the program that I used to use didn't support this. But anyway, who cares? So we're stepping through this guy, and we want to see. So we've got ident null. We're now including a file. We should be including Cinera included.conf. So we want to tokenize I. I think that was succeeding. Then we want to scope token. So let's step into this. This function here is actually scope token, so it's already stepping through. So let's see, we've been past various stuff, so we should have been past the tree, which our previous guy actually allocated. Yeah. Scope tree parent is equal to the tree. Oh, that's not right. Yeah, that's definitely not right. So I think actually what... let's just see. So parent type spec is set to ID 64. I think this is just, yeah, that's just not initialized. Yeah, of course, because we haven't set it yet. The trees type spec should be null, and it is null. I mean, in some ways, this... I mean, it isn't right. Yeah, that is not right. But now that we've actually initialized it, well, it's just going to be set to this, isn't it? Yeah. So the current field, I think this is where it's crashing, wasn't it? No. So it thinks it's a person. it's a scope. Yeah, so this is Miyatatsu's thing. It's not an include. Push onto the parents. Yeah, I'll tell you what, actually, that is going to be the problem. It's going to be the next time we come into this area here. It's going to be the next time, because what's going to happen is this is the thing that we're parsing at the moment. We're going to come into here, but what's going to happen is, you remember as the parent was set to the tree, that's going to happen, and it's just going to mess it all up, because this isn't the parent. This isn't the root scope. The tree is essentially the root scope, I think. Let's continue and just see if that's true, that we actually do get into here. Yeah, we do. So if we look at the, I suppose in some ways I should have looked at the parent before I stepped out, shouldn't I? Because that's not initialized anymore, and the tree ain't going to tell me the information. Let's continue though, because I think we should find that this field isn't in the spec. Maybe that's not true. So it's a person, which, yeah, that is in the root scope. I do think that this is where we're going to crash, though. We're going to crash within this loop here, inside this second, this interior call to scope tokens. Not exactly sure when, though. I mean, let's try getting through this loop. Return the tree. Let's just see if we do return from it. Aha. So, what doesn't it like? It's switch on the field type. Reader size 8. So that was switching on. That was actually the switch. So we've apparently got into here, have we? Is that what it's saying? No, surely not. It's on this call, isn't it? And it's reading from something. But that's definitely a mistake. That thing about setting the parent to be the thingamajig. Setting the parent to be the tree, that's definitely not right. This would be correct. Although, hold on a second. That might be complete nonsense, actually, what I've just said. I think maybe all I need to do actually is pass the parent, right? Rather than passing the tree. past the parent. I think that's actually what I need to be doing. It'd be pretty amazing if that's the only mistake. So we didn't crash. And we've got our entire, I mean, this is pretty nice actually, pretty fantastic to see all this. Let's just do that. So the only print scope tree is this one down here. Well, no it's not. That's that. So yeah, so the only print scope tree is that thing down there. So this is that call. So we're getting, let's have a quick gander through it. So it's skipping the comments. First thing is HTML coming through these, and also it's worth noting that they might not appear in the same order. First of all, it will print out the string assignments, then it will print out the number assignments. So I can just quickly prove that if I just stick this at the top actually. Right. You still get the string assignments printed out first, and then the integer assignment printed out second, and then the scope assignments come after that. So we get the support Patreon. We're seeing that over there. We find that something doesn't, you know, these guys don't get included, which is fantastically perfect. Something isn't included. Project Risky isn't included either. So it manages to depart this entire assignment, which is nice to see. Then we've got PayPal here, which only includes this icon. And then we've got Miyatatsu. Now, here we actually have the include. So what we're seeing actually is Miyatatsu getting pulled in from here. And he is also pulling in these guys, right? So Miyatatsu, here he is. Name equals Iwakura. Homepage is risky.tv. Support equals Patreon, right? Now we're not setting the Patreon information in here. It is getting absorbed down from up here. And we're seeing that it's perfectly showing up. Support Patreon icon is equal to Cinera Sprite Poo. URL is equal to this, which is absorbed. And the PayPal thing, it's absorbed the icon, but it's set the URL from here, which is exactly as it needs to be doing. Then we've got all our mediums, right? They're all set. And then we have a Project Risky. Project Risky, now this is an interesting one. I think I need to, I mean, if this has worked, this is just kind of magic, really. I can't see that it could have worked, actually. Well, I mean, maybe it could have done, but I don't know. Project Risky. Now, Risky is absorbing all of the stuff above it that a project can contain. So you can see they've got the HTML in again. Can't set anything like that. The default medium, is that being set? Well, it's this project, isn't it? It's this outer project here. So this won't have it, but this inner Risky could have its default medium set. Yeah, and it does. So that's got the default medium set to programming. I mean, this just looks amazing, like it's just fully working. So we've included the include file here. Now at this point we haven't actually set title risky business, right? That gets set later on in the actual main file. But if we pop back out to this thing, yeah, it's going down to the next new project. Yeah, actually, I don't think this should have so many project riskies. This ain't right. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, when we did this include here, this guy tried to include the whole shebang, which isn't strictly. Well, I mean, I suppose actually, the way that we've parsed it, it kind of is correct. If you think about it, because essentially, we've got an include within this project. And so that basically means that we've got a project out here, right, within which those guys are getting included. So maybe that is actually parsing correctly. It's worth noting that it's just test stuff. It's not actually what I'm going to be actually doing. At least I don't think it is. No, it isn't. Because what I actually wanted to do is to just use this one and merge in this kind of thing into the actual this guy down here. So we set the player template for the project risky. Search template, templates to player template, yeah, that's been set. And you can see that it's been set right down there, along with the Onomiya Tatsu. So they're both strings, right? Which all these guys also are, but they're down here because these things up here have been absorbed in before we actually set these, which is correct. Project risky is this guy within it. So the player template should have this information here, and it does. Title risky business, unit day, numbering scheme linear. Then we've got risk, which is title riscolaneous. Project book. And then we've got all these interesting title suffixes. So we're inside book. Hang on a minute, let me just. So in that book, default medium there, title book club, title suffix, and then we got oh yeah, the number. Then we got project coad, all the absorbed stuff. Title suffix is set to nothing. That's weird, isn't it? Why is the title appearing before the title suffix, I wonder? It's probably not a big deal, but I wonder why that's happened. But project 1, absorbing all this stuff, absorbing the owner, default medium, title, volume 1. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's coming from down here. Title, yeah, again, like the title list suffix has gone below the title for some reason. I'll tell you what, I think that's what's happening there actually, is that the title has been absorbed from their parent scope. So that thing exists in the actual fields list. This guy has to be added because it hasn't been able to absorb it. Well, hang on a minute. Has it not been able to absorb it? Unless, well, I'll tell you what. They've probably both been absorbed, but the first time we add a title suffix, it had to be added rather than absorbed, if that makes sense. Yeah, so we've got this title suffix here, title here. I guess it just added them in that order. So it adds the title, then it adds the title suffix, and it just retains that order because it's absorbed them down, and then it just sort of keeps that order. That's probably what's going on there. We're down in volume 1, weren't we? Project 1. Title list prefix. Title list delimiter. Title list suffix. Yeah, and then project. Part A. And it's pulled in everything else. Where are we? Project A, yeah. This could be a bit tweaky, this whole title list stuff, by the way. And it's still something that I need to work out. Project equals B. Where's part? That's part B. Project I within that. Title. Yeah, you can see it's all misordered, but that's fine. We don't care about that. So that all seems perfectly fine. Project 1 within that. Paragraph 1. With everything else absorbed. I suppose the one thing that we haven't got actually is the ability to say that something that we've absorbed should be... Well, I mean, I suppose you could just null it out, don't you? That's just what you've got to do. You know, like if you don't want like this title suffix to apply anymore, I suppose actually when you do this title list end, maybe then you should actually somehow indicate to your children that they shouldn't be inheriting, they shouldn't be absorbing these guys anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because you sort of, this, I think this is Project I up here. Yeah. So you've got all this stuff, and you've got title list end. It's sort of shown up as a string pair, but it's just a bare identifier, which has no value. Yeah. So when you see that, I'm basically saying like, could you indicate to your children that they should stop absorbing these guys? Let's do a to-do for that, because that could be useful. I mean, also we do need to figure out the whole title list anyway. You know, whether even we're going to have anything like that in the thing. But let's make a note. Consider, yeah, fully perhaps indicates child scopes that they any title list stuff finally we've got the reader. Project Hero popped up down here. So risk 5 reader title suffix was that. You can see that this guy hasn't inherited. In fact, that's a good thing to see actually, that this person hasn't absorbed this title list delimiter or this stuff, because this guy's parents is nothing to do with this guy's parents. Let's put it another way, where the the place where these title list suffixes are initialized are not in this person's like ancestry, essentially. Because this person's, I'll show you. This person should only be inheriting stuff from here. So it's inherited the title suffix, hasn't it? Yeah, it's inherited that. But anything within here, like this title suffix, for example, it hasn't inherited. And this title is prefix, it hasn't inherited. But it would have inherited the book club title, but then reassigned it when it realised it had its own. So I mean, I can actually prove that by just doing that. If we look at this again, reader, you get the title book club this time, right? Which is what I said. I was like, it should inherit this title, which is exactly what it's just done. And then we've got the project hero, which is from way up here. So it's only this small guy. The reason that the hero pops up down here, below all this stuff, which appears to be below it here, is because this guy has pushed on this project, right? That's why that's happening. It's a project hero, absorbing all the stuff. Unit day. Project code. This guy absorbs all of this guy's stuff. So where we set the unit for today, we don't set unit day here, but we should find unit day there. Yep, we do. Title hammered hero. Update interval is 8. And then finally array, which is just exactly the same as hammered hero, except that the update interval should be 4, I think. Is that what it was? Yeah, update interval's 4 and the title's hammered array. So, I mean, I'll tell you what. That's working absolutely exactly as it should be doing, somehow. While I'm here, I should actually make this free tokens thing actually free the actual full set. So free tokens set. So this takes the tokens set and it's like free the T token at I, isn't it? That's not right. It's this, isn't it? T at I. Well, hold on a second. No, that is right. It's just that I need to do that. Right. What was it actually freeing? It was freeing... Free the token. T token. So it's taking the T token set. Sorry, it was taking the T tokens. It just needs to free that pointer. So I'm taking the T token set, so I need to be freeing that T token pointer. Don't I? Yeah, and then saying that tokens count. Hold on a second. Token set, it's the count of tokens. So for each one I need to set the thing and then I need to finally set the counts to 0. I think that's what it is. Right. Does this crash? It does crash. Wow. Keep these after free. So it doesn't like it on this particular call here. So free tokens count. If I freed the tokens at I.count. So a token set contains a number of these guys. Do I free the file even? I think I do. No, I don't free the file. So that I need to free that as well, actually. Yeah. So for each of these tokens, surely I want to be freeing the tokens like this. Do I have a free file, I wonder? Probably not. Oh, actually, it's not that, is it? It's this. It's that's what I need to be freeing, right? I need to be freeing the pointer to the token. And then I need to be freeing the file somehow. Still doesn't like something. Attempt to free an address which was not mallocked. Oakley dokley. So it was probably the file buffer, was it? 492, 491. So it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that free, does it? So we've got tokens here. Token. That's interesting. Token set. Count. What's he saying? Attempting free on address which was not mallocked. It's possible that it was the buffer location. No, it wouldn't be the buffer location because that was mallocked. Okay. Let's just undo this. In fact, let's just not let it run just for a moment. So yeah, we're getting to completion. So we've got a token set here. Passing the token set. So the tokenize is going to be taking the token set, push tokens onto the token set, right? To do. Yeah, I thought there was more stuff that I needed to do. It's like, how is this? I mean, this is working, but I mean, I thought there was more stuff that I had to do to actually make something work. So fit tokens, yes, and then we're returning this. Token. Oh, hold on. What is I mean, no, token could be 0, couldn't it? Because when you push it on, it'll have to malloc it. Again, it's a little bit confusing because we've got all these different things that are very similarly named. Token, tokens, and tokens set. Okay, so we are calling that now. So we're looking over the tokens within the token set. So it thinks that there's 3. Okie dokie. And it's dying on the 0th iteration. Okay. So it doesn't like this. So I did free token. Oh, dude, it is that, isn't it? Free buffer location. Let's also just null out that thingamajig that's in there. Pointer. What else have we got going on in there? File name. Yeah, file name, actually. We need to null that out, don't we? Assuming it's been allocated. Was that it? Do you see the flash of red that flew past there? Don't know if it gets caught on the recording, but I'm not exactly sure what it would have been. That one of those people, one of these people, field already set. Got quite a few invalid fields there, which is pretty interesting, considering that we actually get the right thing. Producing. Yeah, I'm sure it can't be exactly right, actually. I mean, it did look it, you know, as we were looking through the file and looking through the actual resulting thing. It did look right, but I'm sure that there's some oddness going on in there, probably. Let's just actually see if we do set that file. I mean, if pointer is null, no operation is performed. Okay, fine. Tell you what, I think I'm going to call it there. Call it a night. Called it a mostly speech-free stream, but it was barely speech-free as it ended up. There's lots of speech in this particular stream. But yes, we'll call it here. And proof. I think we'll proof the include stuff tomorrow. And we also need to handle the permissions, right? We need to figure out how to do that. And I'm sure there's some other stuff to do with including as well. But then once that's done, it'll just be a case of resolving all of these things and sticking these values into structures. Right, and then we're done. We're done with the parser. We're then on to the actual, copying the code into Cinera's actual file, and then we're on to adapting it to sort of use the new stuff. So currently, I can just show you quickly before we go. Currently, we've got like this project info array, right? We're going to be replacing this and using the actually passed in stuff, replacing the mediums. Now these media are actually what you've seen in here. All these guys, right? So we're going to be moving Cinera from using these static arrays to using the passed in stuff. Oops. Similar with the credentials. Support icons as well. And then once we've got that, we then need to get the database ready to actually support multiple projects. Because at the moment, Cinera, I mean, the whole point of this config file stuff actually is to, I mean, most of the point of it is to actually allow us to have multiple projects handled by one instance of Cinera. So that's going to be the next thing. Once we've got the stuff all passed in and being used, we'll then be on to getting the database in a good shape to actually receive all of this stuff. Well, I say receive it all. I just mean to sort of allow us to store multiple projects in the one database, basically. Yeah, but anyway, let's call it there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, basically. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I think we did an hour and a half earlier on as well. So we've done a good 4 hours stuff today, which is kind of nice. I wonder if Casey and Alan are still going. According to streams, Handmade Hero, Miblo, Naysayer, Mr. Fourth Dimension, and Pevos are now all live. And Pez doing Bitwise. Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, quite a bumper crop of pro streamers going on there. So yeah, thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for tuning in, for being fantastic and beautiful and just generally all around heroic. And we will reconvene at a later date. So thank you very much. Farewell for now.